I'm not going to tell you any jokes because, well, I'm just not. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a story. And I've got some notes just in case I don't want to forget. But I want to tell you about this dark summer night. There was no moon in sight. This woman was sitting in her car and she thought her life was over. Has that ever happened to you? Unlike Mary Oliver, who once said, "What is your plan to do with your one and wild, precious life?" This woman had no plans. She thought her life was over. Have you ever felt like this?
Yes.
What? Have you ever felt like this? Okay. Well, I think this is actually a fabulous thing. Don't you?
Yes.
Yes, it is a fabulous thing, right? Because what this woman did is she brought in courage, faith, and she rose up. So courage, if you don't know, the word courage comes from cor, from Latin, from the heart. So courage is about releasing those doubts. It's about acceptance. It's about acknowledging the wholeness of who we are. What I want to ask you is, what are you going to do today to be courageous? What makes you courageous today? And then I want to tell you a little bit about faith. This woman had a lot of faith. Actually, I want to share this quote with you, and it's from this really famous person that I love, Anonymous. Anonymous said, "Faith is like Wi-Fi. It's invisible, but it has the power to connect you with what you need." Isn't that awesome? I love that. So faith is really stepping in to something greater. I think a lot of us in this room, most of us probably know a lot about faith. And so this woman was out in the middle of nowhere. She was pulled over by a police officer. She thought her life was over. Essentially, she was sitting there thinking, "I'm done. There's no point going on." She had been pulled over for speeding. She thought she was pulled over for a DUI, and that's why she thought her life was over. She didn't have any courage. She didn't have any faith that night. But the next day, something happened. And actually, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself in the story. Let me get back to faith for a minute. One of the things that she likes to think about with faith is acting as if. We've saw some amazing kids up here tonight, right? And what do you do when you're a kid? You imagine, you play, you act as if. And that's exactly what faith is believing in something greater than yourself, believing in something that can be, affirming, praying, looking for something greater. Did you know that the words sacred and scared have exactly the same letters, just in a different order? Isn't that interesting? So next time, and that could be wrong because I'm dyslexic, but next time you think that you're scared, check in and see if it's really a moment to tap into the sacred. Where is the faith there? So this woman woke up the next day and she decided it was time to rise up. She put her heart into it, she embodied the phoenix, and she let go of resistance. Because we know when we resist, what happens? It persists. What we resist persists. So she decided that she had hit her rock bottom, and the only way she could go was up. She could rise up. The great news is that you don't actually have to hit bottom to rise up every single day. You can use courage, you can use faith to rise up, drawing on the strength, evolving. So the Egyptians and the Greek mythologists believed that the phoenix was actually the bird that rose from the ashes, and that's what our phoenix logo is. Really powerful. So to conclude the story, this woman drove home very slowly, like a snail's pace, and she decided that she would never drink again. She would never put any substance in her body. She would step in every single morning into courage, into faith, and to rise up. And almost 20 years ago, that woman was me. I have spent every single day waking up, focusing on courage. I actually sometimes use the name Courageous Casey because my last name is spelled fight, and I have been a fighter my whole life, and I'm tired of fighting. I want to be in love, I want to be courageous, and put myself out there. So I encourage you to really step into your courage, step into faith, rise up, and live your greatest life. Thank you so much.